What happens if you buy a PC that's been sitting in a scrapyard for years? Yeah, this one came from a recycling guy, someone who doesn't really know or care about computers, just selling whatever he can get his hands on. And when I got it, it was rough. Dust everywhere, rust all over the components, and honestly, it didn't even look safe to turn on. Worst case, it could literally explode. Best case, maybe there's still something worth saving inside. So today I'm tearing this thing apart and trying to bring it back to life, and hopefully turn it into a real gaming PC. Let's get started. So I messaged the seller on Facebook Marketplace. He listed it as a gaming PC for $20, which honestly already sounded suspicious. So I asked him, does it actually work? And he just replied, I don't know, it's been sitting there for a long time. Yeah, not exactly reassuring. At that point, I knew this thing was a gamble, so I tried my luck. I said, what if I take it off your hands for 10? He paused for a bit, then came back with 15, and it's yours. I mean, it's still cheap, but if I'm buying something that might be completely dead, I had to push it. So I told him, look, I'm taking all the risk here. It might not even turn on. And after a little back and forth, he finally said, fine, $10, just come get it. And that's when I knew this was either the best deal ever or a complete disaster. As soon as I unboxed it, there was a really nasty smell. You can't smell it through the screen, but just look at this. It's filthy, like unbelievably dirty. I honestly don't even want to touch it without wearing gloves. So why did I decide to buy this thing anyway? Because there's a GPU inside, and yeah, I have no idea what model it is. It's completely covered in dust, but there's one big problem. This system has no RAM at all. My guess is, when RAM prices went up, someone pulled it out and sold it separately. So for now, I'm going to install one of my own RAM sticks. Alright, moment of truth. I plugged everything in, hit the power button, and okay, fans are spinning. That's actually a really good sign, but still no signal, nothing on the screen. Alright, maybe it's just RAM. So I pulled it out, cleaned it, plugged it back in. Let's try again. Wait, what does that smell? Hold on, is that burning? Yo, what the pop? Oh, what? What? I jumped back instantly. Smoke just started pouring out of the power supply. Nah, turn it off. Turn it off. I yanked the power cable as fast as I could, heart literally racing, and for a second, everything just went completely silent. I just stood there like, did this thing seriously just explode in front of me? Yeah, this is way worse than I thought. But I'm going to try one more time, just to see if this thing is actually still alive. Honestly, I'm a little nervous. What if it explodes again? Alright, let's power it on. 3, 2, 1. Okay, good news. No explosions this time. But nothing. No fan spin. No signs of life at all. Complete silence. At this point, I'm starting to worry. That power supply might have damaged other components. Alright, let's try a different PSU, powering it on again. Wait, there's still absolutely no response. Oh, I forgot to turn on the power switch. Yeah, that's on me. I guess that explosion earlier kind of threw me off. Alright, let's try that again. Oh yeah, it's alive. That's a huge relief, but it's still not usable yet. Something's definitely wrong. I just don't know what it is yet. At this point, the PC starts power cycling, turning on and off repeatedly. This kind of issue can come from a lot of different causes. A failing PSU, loose or dirty RAM, overheating CPU, or in the worst case, a faulty motherboard. So I'm going to troubleshoot step by step. First, I remove the CMOS battery to reset the BIOS, then disconnect everything, storage, USB devices, anything plugged into the board, and even take the motherboard out of the case to avoid any possible short circuits. Then I try powering it on again, and oh man, it's still doing the exact same thing, stuck in that endless on-off loop. At this point, I started suspecting the CPU, but when I touched it, something felt off. It wasn't generating any heat at all. That's not normal. There's no way. Could the CPU actually be dead? I checked the socket pins, none of them were bent. I even cleaned the socket just to make sure everything had proper contact. Then I tried another CPU that I know works. And I still got the exact same result. No heat, no response. That's when I really started to suspect the motherboard. And honestly, at this point, I was feeling pretty hopeless. So the only thing left to try was swapping to a different motherboard. Oh my god, the keyboard is getting power now, but there's still no display signal on the screen. And at that point, I started suspecting the GPU, but I didn't have solid proof yet. So I tried plugging the display cable directly into the motherboard, and oh my god, it worked. We've got a signal. That pretty much confirms the issue is coming from the GPU. So my guess is there's a ton of dust buildup inside the display ports and the PCIe contacts. I'm going to clean everything using a soft brush and a bit of anti-corrosion solution. After that, I'll wipe it down one more time. because this kind of liquid doesn't fully evaporate. It can leave a thin, oily layer that attracts dust over time and reduces electrical contact quality. Then I repeatedly plug and unplug the display cable to help pull out any remaining dust from inside the ports. Wait, hold on, it's on. We did it. The system finally boots. That means both the CPU and GPU are actually working. Alright, next step, I'm going to plug in a drive and see what happens. I've got a 128GB SSD here, and oh my god, the previous owner's OS is still on it. Honestly, I'm just relieved that the core components are alive. Now let's take a closer look at the specs. We've got an i5-4460, 4 cores, 4 threads, with a turbo up to around 3.4 GHz. Not exactly powerful by today's standards, but surprisingly it draws up to 84 watts according to Intel. Yeah, not great. The GPU is a GTX 652GB. This version uses GDDR5 and comes with a slight factory overclock. Storage is that same 128GB SSD. Then though, it's actually in pretty good condition. And then there's the case. But unfortunately, the CPU cooler is basically broken. I snapped one of the mounting clips while removing it, so yeah, that's gone. So in the end, I'm left with just 4 usable parts. Alright, next mission, clean everything up and turn this into a complete gaming PC. I'm going to clean this GPU using distilled water. The reason I chose this is because it doesn't contain ions, so it doesn't conduct electricity, making it much safer for removing dust and residue without causing immediate short circuits. You can use regular water, but that increases the risk of oxidation on metal parts over time. After cleaning, I'll make sure it's completely dry before putting everything back together. As for the case, I'll just clean it as thoroughly as possible using regular water to get rid of all the dirt and grime. Now I'm going to put everything back together into a complete PC. For this build, I'm upgrading to 16GB RAM, 2 8GB sticks, and adding a basic air cooler with dual heat pipes. With this setup, a 400-watt PSU is more than enough. As for storage, I'll be using an SSD that already has games installed on it, since storage doesn't really impact in-game performance much. After finishing everything, I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. It looks way cleaner and a lot better than before. Alright, let's jump straight into performance testing and see what I actually got out of this $10 PC after all that effort. First up, Minecraft. FPS sits around 40, and the CPU is clearly the biggest bottleneck here, constantly running at full load. The frame rate isn't stable at all and can drop as low as 11 FPS. So I lowered it to 8 chunks, and that made a huge difference. FPS jumps to around 200, much more stable, and the CPU isn't maxed out anymore. Honestly, 8 chunks feels like the sweet spot for this system. Turning on shaders though? Yeah, not great. At 720p it only manages around 20 FPS. Definitely not ideal. Next, CS2 at 1080p low settings. FPS is only around 40. I dropped it down to 720p and it goes above 60 FPS, but the image quality takes a big hit. Moving on to Tomb Raider at 1080p low, FPS sits around 50 to 60, with small drops during explosions or heavy effects. Overall, still playable. And finally, Cyberpunk 2077. Oh man, this is rough. FPS is around 10, and it feels like my eyes are being tortured. I even dropped it to 720p, but it only goes up slightly and still feels terrible. This system just can't handle games like this. So yeah, this $10 PC really took me on a roller coaster. The good news, it still works, but because the hardware is just too old, it can only handle lightweight or older games. Anything modern and demanding is simply out of reach. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. See you in the next one.